Aries symbol Venus begins its retrograde cycle that will last until January 29. Dear Aries, and love and pleasure may seem a little more complicated. Feelings are complex, and others may not seem as open or straightforward about what they need or want. There may be a need to review, reassess, or rework specific work projects. Consider that your current goals may require more time than expected to achieve. For best results, aim to be patient and look for ways to improve the ventures or projects you already have in place rather than taking on something brand new. Slowdowns or complications are temporary and ultimately helpful but can frustrate at times. Your career or responsibilities may temporarily lose some of their pleasure factor, and you may be going back over old projects, encountering mistakes that need fixing and delays that keep you in limbo. There can be complicated relationships on the work front, or you may be waiting for a decision or plan to unfold. When you're busy doing, you may not always process what's going on inside, and now you get the chance to get in touch with what you genuinely love and want. Fortunately, Chiron turns direct in your sign today, and others more readily see your charm and unique personality. As well, the Sun and Jupiter form a harmonious aspect today, increasing your confidence and optimism. Helping others or learning new things can be incredibly pleasurable now. You might be attracted to a new line of study or feel motivated to explore a topic more deeply. Taurus symbol Venus turns retrograde until January 29, dear Taurus, and there can be some confusion or backtracking. Past relationships or people from your past might resurface in your life, complicating the present, or current relationships may require some redesigning. It's an excellent period for reworking your finances, but take your time when it comes to major decision-making. Indecision can be pronounced, but this slowdown helps you out, pacing you. You're conserving some of your energy and more inclined to formulate plans and strategies. There can be delays and changes of heart, or you might question the pleasure factor of current interests and activities. It's a time for discovering what you truly want and need, and there can be some unrest until you see the light. Today, there can be opportunities to connect, converse, support, and solve problems now. There may be a mystery to solve or a great find. You can learn something of real value through research or about your career, an intimate partner, or yourself. While you have the future in mind and you can be quite excited about new initiatives, it's not the time for new beginnings as there are likely to be some delays and turnarounds. Gemini symbol Venus is retrograde until January 29, dear Gemini, suggesting the need to review your connections, finances, especially joint or shared, and romantic life. You might use this time to reassess past purchases or handle financial matters that you have put off. You may be on the fence about a relationship, or you could have some difficulty getting in touch with your desires. In the weeks ahead, you could question the pleasure factor in your intimate life, or you might crave an absorbing hobby or interest. It's a time for discovering what you truly want and need, and there can be some unrest until you see the light. This can happen in your financial life, in a close relationship, or with passion projects. Today's Sun-Jupiter transit can find you enthused about drawing up plans for writing, speaking, and learning or conversing with someone special. You're looking to make progress, grow, and improve. People have useful or inspiring things to share with you. Cancer symbol Venus turns retrograde in your partnership sector today, dear Cancer. Until January 29th, a close partner could be distant emotionally, or a relationship can appear stalled for the time being. People in your life may seem to be on the fence. It's probably better to take your time and avoid rushing matters in your personal life. Life has a way of showing you where things are losing their appeal or no longer supporting you. You can feel undecided, in limbo, or unsatisfied. However, this is not to torture you but rather to prompt a re-examination that ideally leads to improvements. Use this period to re-evaluate what you want in love and your relationship needs instead of forging ahead into unknown territory. With the Sun and Jupiter in harmony today, your mood is positive. Focusing on activities that help advance your practical goals can be particularly useful and fruitful. Leo, starting today, the Venus retrograde cycle can bring the need to revise work and health plans, dear Leo. There can be a focus on healing and processing when it comes to health. People can be a little standoffish in general, and stepping back is better than attempting to push or prod. There can be some slowdowns in projects or waiting games revolving around routines, your job, or chores, and it's best to aim to be patient and understanding. Looking back to the past in these areas can be a tendency and may benefit you. If life feels a bit like drudgery, or if daily chores, routines, and tasks weigh on you, it's a time to explore what you can do to improve the pleasure factor in these areas. Today's Sun-Jupiter transit can encourage warm, happy exchanges with others that lift your spirits. As much as you may be thinking about new launches, you'll do much better if you feel the inspiration now and work further before launching an all-new project or endeavor. Virgo, starting today, Venus is retrograde until January 29th, dear Virgo, which can pull your attention to the past. Because it occurs in your sector of joy, romance, and pleasure, past loves may reappear in your life or become a focal point. You could feel a little hung up emotionally. A current romantic interest may be difficult to read. Consider that it's easy to undervalue or overvalue someone or something during this cycle. You could find it hard to derive satisfaction from your romantic and creative activities temporarily, and it's best to watch for overcompensating. It can be a time to rethink pastimes or pleasure-seeking activities and creative expression. This retrograde encourages a look back before charging ahead. You might learn something new about a previous relationship or your feelings. Today's Sun-Jupiter transit stirs you to put more heart and energy into your home life and work or health endeavors. You might come to someone's aid or simply let go of resentments and feel better about your future for doing so. Home life is fulfilling as you seek to make improvements rather than focus on the flaws. Follow your instincts when it comes to your projects and endeavors, but save significant launches for another time. Libra, Venus, your planetary ruler, begins its retrograde today, dear Libra, pointing to some stalling or revisiting of the past. You might be a little more withdrawn and indecisive during this cycle that lasts until January 29th. Relations with family can be a bit complicated, requiring more sensitive care. In the weeks ahead, you could experience some slowdowns, creative blocks, or frustrations with your current state of affairs. Aim to take things one day at a time. In truth, workarounds to discontent can lead to massive improvements. Personal revelations or memories can have the effect of nudging you along a positive path. Simple, thoughtful gestures help improve your relations, perhaps helping to cement bonds. Also today, the Sun harmonizes with Jupiter, and your great attitude and sense of fun open up possibilities or opportunities to you, particularly related to creative projects and relationships. Even with some mixed signals today, ultimately, you feel optimistic about what's before you. Recently, you've been putting more of yourself into your learning endeavors, personal interests, writings, dating, or creative worlds, and today, you may enjoy an advance in one or more of these areas. You might connect with someone special or an original idea that benefits you. You can feel inspired to pursue a learning or mental challenge, or you're setting up goals in these areas that motivate you. Circumstances encourage you to feel freer. Scorpio Venus begins its retrograde cycle today, dear Scorpio, which will last almost to the end of January. A partner could be hard to read, challenged, distant, or aloof during this period. Past actions come back to visit you, or you can feel a little stuck at times. Because this Venus retrograde occurs in your communications sector, there can be a lot of conversation or much thought about a past love matter or relationship. There can be times when it's most wise to keep your own counsel. You might be redefining what you want and need from your connections and your studies. You're doing the work that helps you ultimately pursue your true heart's desires. You might recognize a line of study, personal interest, or another calling that's a better fit for you. Until then, routines can feel overwhelming, while errors need correcting, and tasks can weigh on you, perhaps losing some of the pleasure factor. You may return to past projects, encountering mistakes that need fixing and delays that keep you in limbo. Nevertheless, it's a strong time for your powers of attraction, particularly through conversations and matters to do with the mind. Things may not develop as you expect, but you can enjoy some of the detours you take now. You find a reason to feel optimistic today. You're opening your mind and looking for ways to improve and develop. You can feel a sense of accomplishment or hopefulness in business, and a stronger feeling of connectedness in your personal life. Sagittarius Venus turns retrograde in your finance sector today, dear Sagittarius, where it will continue in retrograde motion until January 29th. This cycle gives you the chance to take a better look at recent projects, business ideas, purchases, and financial plans before going forward with them. It's a time for attending to unfinished matters with money or finances and issues surrounding whether others treat you as worthy and valuable. You might question your comfort levels or your income in the weeks ahead. It's an excellent period for reviewing finances, budgeting, and collecting financial information, but not ideal for buying new big-ticket items. However, if you are good at spotting deals, you could find some unusually good ones, as people may be parting with things they wouldn't unload under normal conditions. While you may not always feel confident and sure about your feelings during this retrograde Venus cycle, it's an excellent period for considering how your approach to attracting what you want has served you in the past. As you examine your life in these areas, you learn how to improve. A Sun-Jupiter transit promotes some enthusiasm and confidence. You might enjoy learning something new or developing your studies or pet projects. There could be a resolution to a problem that lifts barriers. There is warm and friendly energy in your life, and you're at the heart of it. People appreciate your point of view as well as your company. Capricorn Venus, currently transiting your sign, begins its retrograde cycle that will last until January 29th, Dear Capricorn, due to this cycle, you have Venus in your sign for longer than usual. It brings up the need to look back before moving forward, perhaps to times when your image did more for you than it may be doing now. Watch that you don't come across as too distant or superficial, but otherwise, aim to do some valuable reassessment and review. Venus entered your sign in early November, boosting your charm and perhaps bringing favors your way. Now with Venus retrograde, it's a prompt to revise your plans and put off new initiatives until you have more confidence in them. Others may not be getting you, sometimes misunderstanding your intentions, just for now. It's better to use this time for budgeting rather than buying, resting if you can, and revising plans. While you are attracting others magnetically, you could be a little withdrawn and hesitant about pushing forward in matters of the heart. It's a time to look into your heart and understand your needs more intimately. Take your time with significant decision-making. Helping you with this shift is a Sun-Jupiter transit that gives you a positive and practical focus. This can be a day for uncovering a resource or information that benefits you. You're applying your wisdom, intuition, and experience. Aquarius, while you're feeling more optimistic than usual, dear Aquarius, it's important to take your time on all new projects, as Venus turns retrograde today. Venus will be retrograde until January 29th, and it's an excellent time to get in touch with your feelings about a past relationship. It's probably best to keep many of your projects and even your affections on the down low for now. Dealing with past relationships, love triangles, or sacrifices made for someone can figure strongly in your life now and in the coming weeks. There can be secrets or new information surfacing that prompts you to rethink current plans. There can be times when it's tempting to bury your feelings so that you can concentrate on other areas of life. However, it's a strong period for getting in touch with your needs from love, so be brave and face your feelings. It can be a time when you have a change of heart as you look at matters differently or you put a problematic attachment behind you once and for all. Today, a Sun-Jupiter aspect helps you see the bright side of a situation, and since Jupiter is in your sign, you're a big reason for optimism and enthusiasm. Your thinking is broad, helping you gain perspective, particularly on a friendship or long-term goal. The desire to break free from a limiting situation or mindset is intense now. Pisces, Venus turns retrograde today, dear Pisces, and will continue the cycle until January 29th. In the weeks ahead, friends may seem on the fence, hard to reach, or distant. Relationships may be a little complicated, or you might reconnect with a long-lost friend or gain valuable insight into a relationship. Instead, you might be doing a lot of reminiscing, or you could feel stuck on a social level. You or a friend might dredge up old issues, or distance between you and someone important to you can weigh on you. It can make sense to pull back a little to gain perspective, either with your connections or projects. It's best to take your time and avoid trying to rush matters. Let things flow and observe how things unfold with as much patience as you can muster. If the pleasure factor has been missing in your social life or with your happiness goals, you'll recognize the problem now. Also today, the Sun at the top of your solar chart receives a boost from Jupiter in your privacy sector, encouraging some level of solitude to solve problems and draw upon your intuition and experience or wisdom. Giving back or supporting others can be rewarding now. Work or good deeds you've done in the past may pay off, or you're regaining motivation and ambition. Still, with shifts occurring, today is better for feeling inspired and working with it than for putting new projects into motion.